Hey YouTube, it's Mitchell Z. I'm just coming at you with another video. I wanted to just check back in after wearing my hair straight. I straightened it twice in the past couple weeks and this is how it's shaping up right now. I have noticed a couple little pieces that haven't quite wakened back up. If you can see that little piece, I can tell is a little bit more, like the curls are not exactly like they were before, and then there's this piece here. So there are a couple pieces that I noticed. So what that means for me is I'm just going to be taking care of that hair. I'm not cutting on my hair. Like I said previously, I'm not gonna cut anymore until probably at the beginning of the year, because I really want to try and grow my hair out. But seeing that my curls are a little bit different in those spots, I do know that that means I'm going to have to just make sure that I do more deep conditioning treatments. I also did some protein recently, in which I do all the time. Whenever I straighten my hair, I'll follow up with some protein conditioner in order to help put some protein back into my hair after straightening. So I did do that recently already, and I'll probably be doing that little by little with, that was a heavier protein, and I'm going to be using some light protein in the future. So since I straightened it, I have noticed, I do feel like my roots are a little bit looser than they were. I was actually kind of concerned about the thickness of my roots, because in one of my other videos I did mention how there was a time where I was watching a lot of the Brittany Nick 16 videos on how to use heat. Well, basically she was calling it heat training. And I was doing that to my hair. I did a couple of heat sessions because I've always noticed that heat does tend to relax the curl in my hair. It'll loosen it. You know, it'll go from like a spiral to like an S shape. And I noticed that from before. So after watching some of her videos, I was inspired to try it. I kind of wanted, you know, easier hair, like easier to detangle and things like that. So that was sometime last year, like in the summer, that I tried that out. And so what I've noticed is that if you start that process, it is like your roots are going to be a lot thicker. And you know, a lot of times, sometimes just some of the regular wear and tear of styling your hair and doing different things with it, using diffusers, hooded dryers, you know, even if you're not using direct heat, over time you can notice that your roots are always going to be like the strongest part of your hair, and then the rest of your hair is sort of doing what it does. It may be looser, it may be a different color and things like that. I had like 1.5 inches from like July to September of, like, I could tell the roots, not only because of my gray hair, it was time to kind of redo that, but I could tell that it was a lot thicker. And so since I went ahead and did the heat, those roots, if you can see the wave that's going on right there in my roots, don't mind the flakes. I'm still having issues with that. But, so I haven't lost texture. There is still texture there. But I can just tell that my hair, it's still shrinking up. As you can see, it's shrinking up. But I can tell that it just seems like it's hanging a little bit more. And I think it's because the roots are a little bit looser. I don't know. You know what, maybe I'm just reading too much into it, because this really does look pretty similar to a wash and go I wore like 2 weeks ago. You know, like maybe I'm getting too serious with it, but because really, like, my hair is curly back here, and then you look back here. I'm happy with it. I'm happy with the way it looks. This is a wash and go that I just did last night. I used Paul Mitchell, the conditioner, leave-in, and I also used Eco Styler on top. And the deep conditioning treatment that I did last night. It had olive oil in it. So when I went to rinse it out, I didn't really feel like I needed any oils in my hair because the olive oil, it was kind of like an oil rinse, really. It was what that felt like. So when the conditioner rinsed away, you still have some of that olive oil in your hair. So I just went ahead and put this right on top of my hair while it was still soaking wet, and then applied the gel. And this time I did more like the smoothing instead of the raking, and I'm just having a lot more success with that technique. So if you can see, like, I don't know, what do you think? I mean, it looks pretty good to me. This looks like a pretty good wash and go to me. I had noticed see that? There's like those two pieces are doing their own thing. So it almost doesn't even make sense. There's like a little piece over here, and then there's like 2 or 3 pieces over here. And I pretty much use the same method to straighten my whole head. I don't know anymore. And as far as the bangs, it still is looking the same way to me. Like, I still have this chunk of hair from here to here. That's fine. That curls up. And then there's this little chunk of hair that's right over here that's just like, not with the program. And I've noticed that ever since May when I first chopped them off. So I don't know what to do. I mean, I don't know what to do with the bangs at this point. You know, there's been a couple times where I wondered, should I have left the bangs as is, you know? But they got on my nerves so much at the time. They were just hanging so straight. So at least they have something, some kind of wave. Like, you can see what's going on there. I've got like a lot of wave in my bangs. I parted it last night and slicked it last night and put the headband on. My hair was about 50% dry, maybe. When I pulled out the diffuser last night, I did have to use the diffuser. It wasn't completely bone dry with the diffuser, but it was time for bed. You know, I was done. So I went ahead and got out another one of my satin scarves. And I just did like a really big triangle on this one. And I just, you know, with the headband and everything on, I just went ahead and wrapped my hair like this last night. And this is how I wore it to bed last night. So since it wasn't completely dry, it did kind of like mold in this flattened type shape. And then this morning when I took it off, it was like this. And then you kind of have, you use gel, you end up with a gel cast. So you end up having to sort of like, you know, pull on your hair a little bit. So when I was doing that, I went ahead and put some of the Hollywood Beauty moisturizer. And then I used some Shea Butter and kind of shook it out, and I, you know, pressed on it on the parts that felt like they had a crunch to it. So now this is what I'm left with, and it's touchable. I usually do my wash and goes for like a couple days. Maybe on the last day I'll pull it back. So that's how my hair is looking since I straightened it. I'm fine with it the way it is. It looks fine to me. And but since I saw that those pieces there and there is a little bit of looseness in the roots, I can tell that the heat affected my curl pattern. So that to me just means that I just need to make sure and keep my hair pretty, you know, keep my hair strong by using protein and using deep conditioning treatments. And I co-wash frequently when I'm wearing my hair curly like this. So I might give the flat iron a break. If anything, I'm probably gonna maybe do some roller sets, and I'm gonna take you along with me on that. I haven't done roller sets in a while, so but I was starting to get the hang of it. So I would like to share my techniques with you guys, because I know sometimes people, it's kind of a tricky thing doing the roller setting on natural hair, but it can be done. And I like to share that with you guys when I start getting back into that. And braid outs, twist outs, and wash and goes to see if I can retain as much length as possible. So this was just a little update for those of you who were wondering if my hair curled back up, and it did. So that's it for now. I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.